All right, guys. Good morning to everybody. This is KEL, and today is the 2nd of December, 2025. Crazy Global Market Talk with KEL. Crazy anytime, anywhere. All right. Yesterday was a very good day for all of us. If you have followed the queue to sell the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and you've been buying gold, selling Bitcoin, you are in profit. So today we'll cover on all the reason why yesterday there was some selling. Okay, I'll explain to you in detail, bit by bit. But meanwhile, same thing again, everybody. If you are not listening to me, let me just mute all of you first. Apology on that. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can post in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to share with you. Okay, so before we go into the sharing session, once again, we need you to understand this disclaimer apply as usual. Please do your risk management. Okay, all right, let's go into the fundamental first. What is happening in the market that causes the selling yesterday? Now, first of all, the US Dow Jones fell 400 points last night, snapped a 5-day winning streak as crypto slight down sentiment. Now, one thing to know, I've been saying this for quite a while. If you want to know the market will be coming down or going up, the best way is to look at the crypto market. If the crypto market is going up today, there's a very high relative chance that the Nasdaq will follow through in the evening. And of course, after that, the Dow Jones may follow. So that's why the last few days when the Bitcoin keep on coming down, I know that the Nasdaq is coming off and there was some good money to be made. Okay, so the main thing, why is the Bitcoin coming down? Okay, let's take a look. Now, Bitcoin basically is the key flagship cryptocurrency, dropped 6% to trade below 86,000, putting a downward pressure on the stock market. See, that's why I say, yeah, very interesting. Okay, so let me just show you the right thing here in case you miss it. Okay, so it was the Bitcoin worst day since March. The cryptocurrency was about 90,000. All right, recently, then it smashed below 90,000. And of course, we know Coinbase strategy. Of course, they tumble quite a fair bit because of that. Yeah. Okay, and of course, Broadcom and Supermicro Computer also lost a bit of percentage due to their AI trade, right, whereby everybody just take profit against it. And of course, holiday season, the Ulta and Walmart, they did better because that's why the Dow Jones was supported, yeah? Okay, so the main thing that you want to know is that why is a Bitcoin coming down. Okay, let me share with you now the real reason. Okay. Now, Bitcoin basically came down quite a fair bit. It's because the Japan bond yield surged to 1.85%. Now, basically, it is very clear that Japan will hike interest rate. Yes, I say that again. Japan will hike interest rate. So if Japan hike interest rate, the reason is because of inflation is creeping up in Japan, and Japan wants to curb it because a lot of people have been borrowing the yen to basically borrow yen at a very low level to go and do an investment, right? So because of that, that caused a big issue for the bank. And now the thing is this: if everybody been borrowing money at almost near zero interest and now have to pay 1.85% in a way, of course, definitely the market will buy into by cutting away their lending from the Japan bank and then liquefy some position. And one of the favorite thing they do is that people borrow the yen at almost near low cost to buy the Bitcoin. So now if Japan bond yield surge up, people will throw the Bitcoin away because that's how they do the what they call the carry yen trade. So this is one thing to take note of, and you can see that the yen, basically the way the yen went up itself is a very alarming speed. Look at it, the speed here. So I thought that I already picked it up, but apparently not. Okay, just give me a moment. Now, of course, by trading, you just follow the Bitcoin opening price to sell and buy. That's the easiest thing to do. But some of you want know exactly what happened, why it happened, and all those fundamentals. Then, of course, I need to show you that. Okay, you can see that the Japan super long bond yield all the way since 2008 has been staying at 2.5%, and it dropped all the way down to zero, near to zero for more than 3 years. And then after that, recently it crept up to 0.5, took about almost 1.5 years. Market was still able to accept. But in year 2022, the thing just rocketed, and now it's even higher than where we started. So that is why the interest rate now most likely will be hiked for Japan. And of course, when that happens, that will add in some pressure, that will cut away some liquidity from the Japan stock market. So that is why the Bitcoin is coming down. So of course, again, you can read on your own the real reason. But one thing is that People Bank of China felt that Bitcoin is actually considered as an illegal activity. Oh my God. So that's why now people are kind of worried that China may do a widespread cutting of people using Bitcoin. Okay, so that is one thing to take note of. And of course, South Korea headline hit inflation hit 2.4%. All right, so again, this is what I fear. We have inflation in Japan and we have inflation in South Korea. So it's a matter of time the rest of the whole world will feel this inflationary impact. Now, there's one particular guy that has seen me most likely will become the next Federal Reserve chairman. That guy is Kevin Hassan. All right, interesting, yeah? All right, this is the guy. He looks very interesting, a chipmunk face. But the point is this guy is now the most likely the next Fed chief. And look at his face. In all honesty, I know that he'll listen to Donald Trump quite a fair bit. All right, so because of the inflation now that's spreading around the whole world, even Bank of England was supposed to cut rate is now thinking for a while. And again, this tells you again, the inflation issue is going to hit the whole world. Now, last night, the Dow Jones basically pulled back, and I think that it's going to test the moving average at 47,000 maybe this week. And I've given you my reason, the common point. I'll not go through this again. Yesterday, crude oil price recover, and of course, expected, you can see that the OXY traded higher to $42, bought some at 41.50. So let's see how it goes from here itself, yeah? So Bitcoin today likely will have to find support at 86,500. It has to stay. Oops. 1 minute. At 86,500. Now, there was a bit of heavy buying yesterday on the volume side. But the thing is this, I think that Bitcoin will still have to travel down to break the low here, which is about 80,000. So 79,000 will still be my base level to watch out for, which means that if Bitcoin do trade 79,000, maybe I will call for a buy over there. A short-term buy, not a long-term buy, yeah? Right, so look out for 79,000, everyone. If Bitcoin can come down 79,000, I think you can go for some buying over there. So, okay, all right, so that is for Bitcoin. Now, the VIX yesterday has jumped up from the opening price of 18, went up to 18.33 before pulling back a little bit, yeah? Okay, so closing price was 17.24. So this is a good start for what I suspect will happen. And I think that if the Bitcoin continues to sell down, then the inflation continue to kick in, people get worried about there's no interest rate cut, or the expectation of a market going up will be throttled. And of course, there'll be some selling in the market. Okay, so that is what we have for the fundamental. Let's look at the technical. All right, I tried to play it safe. I didn't use my chart. I just used my screenshot just now. Let's talk about the market first. Okay, so today's gold opening price is 42.31. The MLP is 42.26. So very clearly today, the opening price was slightly above the MLP. But this morning, the selling have kicked in. It broke below the MLP. Do not, today is a DJDD. Now, DJDD, I said this many times before, usually the initial movement, if it's upside, then the later part is downside. Vice versa, if the market earlier movement is downside, then maybe the end of the day is upside. So in this case right now, what we're seeing that the market is now trading below OP. So it's doing something like this. So there is a pivot to very strong support at 42.03. If the market can hang around there, stabilize around 42.03, I think that's a good buy if you want to look for short-term buying. But of course, if you buy is below OP, so you have to be very careful with your risk management. Now, of course, the market can continue to trade hard lower to 41.58, but I don't think that will happen unless it's a confirmation that there's no rate cut. So if you ask me today, all right, most likely the market has came down a fair bit. Later on, if you rebound, do be careful. There is a possibility that the market may go for pivot one at 42.91. 42.91. Is it possible? Well, anything is all possible in the market, but of course, this is a bit too high. We look for the lower KTR. Let's take a look. Now, you look at this one, a bit nearer, right? Okay, let's take a look, yeah? Now, today, this morning, how will you have traded? First of all, you know that there's a double diamond here. You draw. And very clearly, once the market goes below OP, right? Below OP, red candle is a sell. And of course, when the market breaks below MLP, it's a second sell. The diamond line is on top, so you can actually do a sell big to a sell big over here. And of course, the market drags itself for quite a while because there was a lot of buying in the KSI. And then after that, you see a new diamond here. You draw across the line. It's stacked nicely to the MLP. And of course, once the market loses footing, it traveled down. First target, KTR -1, done. Second target, pivot 2, also done. Okay? So now what do we expect to do is that for those who have shorted with me, we already made my money. I've stopped trading on the sell side. So if the market really starts to stabilize around here, do watch out for this. If it ever goes above OP, there's a very high chance, up to 80 to 85%, that we will see the KTR +1 at 4248. Okay, so traders, we will watch the market. If the market can go above OP, I think 4248 shouldn't be an issue for the market. All right, so please take down this number, 4248. That is the KTR +1. All right, if everybody's clear, press number 1 right now. Right, everybody's clear, please press number 1 right now. Now I want to go live with my MT4, but based on what happened yesterday, it actually jammed, and then after that we have to cut the session early. So I don't take the risk. I will do it towards the end, and we see how it goes. Okay. All right. Maybe let's check the current prices of the market right now. The current price right now, the Dow Jones is at 47,275, Nasdaq 35,370, gold price 42.14. All right, somewhere around where we are right now. Now, someone asked me a question on the side. Okay, KEL, do you think gold can be a buy at 41.58 KCB? Well, if the news does come in and says that the US Federal Reserve is not going to cut interest rate, yes, the thing is this, the gold can sell down quite a fair bit, yeah? So please take note of that. It could happen, okay? Okay, let's look at the Dow Jones this morning. The Dow Jones today, the opening price is 47,291, okay? And the MLP is higher. So do take note, today the KSI is still red in color. So which means that this is an elephant trade setup. Now, if the market really come down, which already done that, it broke below yesterday's low, that's one of the confirmation. The market can go all the way down to 45,713, if I'm not wrong. Okay. All right. So where are we right now? 47,293. That's approximately what, 1,500 to 1,600. Yeah, am I right? 600. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is this: the pivotal point is here, my friend, MA 30, which coincides with pivot 2. If the market Dow Jones break below the MA 30 today and close below MA 30, that's it. I'm very confident the market will come down to this KCB minimally. All right, and then of course, if the thing continue to persist, then we may see coming back to my theory, whereby how it goes up is how it comes down when the KSI is against you. So you can see from the chart here itself, we will be looking at the chart very closely for today. I'm putting all my effort to look at the Dow Jones for today. If the Dow Jones can stay above 47,114, okay, that means the market is still very supported. But if the market breaks below and stay below MA30, that's it. Selling is going to hit the fence very badly. Okay, and when that happens, gold price might be affected. Yeah, take note. Okay, one more market. Look at the Dow Jones. This is the Dow Jones 5-minute. You can see they're still weaving around, nothing much happening. Upside wise can be KTR +1 at 47,469. And the MLP is pretty close by. But interestingly, if it goes down, you notice that the KTR -1 and the KTR and the pivot, the KTR -1 and the pivot is the same number at 47,114. So which means that if the market do break below OP, the market has a free fall all the way to 47,114 for the Dow Jones. Okay, so we have a very clear picture of what to do today. You just have to follow through, make the money based on the rules, and let the market, let your money make the money. Yeah, don't need to think so much. Don't need to draw a trend line. Don't need all the complicated stuff. You just have to follow the rules. All right, one more chart to go, and that is Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin yesterday has came down. It's a CCYR positioning. All right, very, very clear. Now, you may ask the question, how come there's no KCL? Because the KSI was green yesterday. So now the thing is this, the diamond is already here. All right, we already did here, and then we know the market's going to come down. So today, Bitcoin, the downside can be as high as 81,683. On the flip side, if the market can go back up again, there's a very good chance the market may test back to the MLP or even a pivot at 86,600. Sorry, at 89,215. Yeah. Okay. So now it's at 86,000 to 86,700. So personally, with the KSI green, red color, and KCX blue color, I think Bitcoin got one more leg down. I still put my bet that maybe we'll see it 81,683 in the long run. Not going to be today. Although it dropped more than 4,000 and 5,000 yesterday, but to drop it simultaneously, I doubt so. Yeah. Okay, so that is the chart-wise without the live action. I think let's try now with the live action and see whether my screen will jam. If my screen jam, then that'll be the end of today's session. Yeah. Okay, just give it a while. Finger crossed. Let's take a look. Okay, seemingly all right at the moment. We can see that Bitcoin is trying to stay above the OP. KSI is red. KCX is blue. There's a lot of fighting at the moment right now. Gold has recovered from the low end at 42.18 now. Right. So I try to bring the gold in. I see whether can we get gold 42.19 now. There's a quick jump. Now gold has been quite volatile. Every bit now is at 50 cents, $1 very easily. I mean, there's really no care about the what you call the market. Yeah. Okay, so again, and again, it seems that my screen is jammed up. I cannot move my screen anymore after this. I mean, I'm using the 3G 2.4. I also use the 5G. It works for the first day. Then now I can see the price jumping, but I cannot move the chart in at all. All right, so I'm so sorry, but at least we managed to do the charting before with this stupid thing going on like that. Very sad. All right, apology on that. There's nothing much I can do. We purposely bought one mobile router for this, but it still didn't work as planned. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today. I wish you all the best for your trading. This is KEL signing off. Take care, and that's the end of today's session. Bye-bye.